Hi there, Jamie Keat here today at Teachers Tech, where I explore technology weekly. And today I'm exploring OneNote on the iPad. I'm going to go give you a full tutorial how everything works on it, and then I'm going to give you some great tips and tricks how to take great notes on it at the end. I'm going to timestamp everything down below, so if you're looking for a specific section, just look at the description and you'll be able to jump to that section quite quickly to learn maybe that certain tip or trick. All you're going to need for this is a Microsoft account on this. So this is all free, but you do need to sign up with a Microsoft account. Maybe you already have an Outlook or Hotmail account that will work for this. But after that, you're good to go. So remember, if you like what you see today, please subscribe to my channel and share this video with a few other people that you might find it, that they might find it helpful too. So let's get started here today with this OneNote tutorial and great tips and tricks. So I'm just starting off from a blank OneNote notebook here. I don't have any notebooks, I don't have any pages, and I don't have any sections, and I'm going to show you how to add all of those. But first, before we do that, you got to make sure you have a Microsoft account on this. I mentioned that a little bit in the intro. You can see in the top right-hand corner, there's a gear up top. I'm logged in as my teachers.tech@outlook.com, so you will need to make a Microsoft account if you don't have one already. The other thing that I would suggest having, and I'm just going to close out of my my OneNote app here for a second, and that is either having OneDrive installed or even Google Drive. And I'll show you later on the tips and tricks some things you can do with those to quickly add in documents that where you can take some great notes. And also, if you want to delete any notes, you need to have that OneDrive connected or go to your computer to delete those notebooks too. I'm just going to go ahead and open my OneNote up again, and I'm just going to start from scratch here, making a couple notebooks to show you how easy that is. Now at the very bottom, you can kind of see how the hierarchy works of it. You have your notebook, your section, and page, and this is what I like about it. It's a very easy concept to understand. You can have endless amount in each of these. I'm going to go ahead and click the bottom where it says the plus notebook, and I'm going to create a notebook. I'm just going to type, I am using Bluetooth on a keyboard here. I'm just going to call it Jamie's notebook. If you have another notebook named the same thing on it, you can't name two notebooks the same thing. I have a little bit of lag on my computer on the software I'm using right now, but I'm just going to go ahead and hit create. And so I have Jamie's notebook. So as soon as I created that notebook, you can see I have section 1 and an untitled page. It just defaulted that in for me. You can change any of these very easily. So what I'm going to do is beside Jamie's notebook, can you see where it says edit? The other thing I can do is just hold my finger on top of it. I'm using the iPad Pro, and then if I hold my finger right on top, but I'm going to hit the edit, and you can see I have a few different things that come up. I have starting at the far left, you can see that red minus. If I wanted to close the notebook, I can close it. I can't delete a notebook actually from OneNote here. It doesn't allow you to do it. You can delete it going through OneDrive. I'll show you that a little later in the tips and tricks. But if I go to where it says section and click on it, if you look at the very bottom here, you can see the garbage can. If I want to delete a section, it's of course going to delete the page in there following to the right. But if I wanted to rename it or copy it, you can see at the very bottom it goes from the garbage can, which would be delete, and next would be the move. If I press that, I can move or copy of it. But what I want to do right now is go to the next one, and I'm just going to call this one Quick Notes here. And I'm gonna, so then that's how I can rename it. And the same thing, if I go to the final one where it says Untitled Page, and I'm just click on this one, if I just click at the top, so this is the page that I've created, I'll just call this example here. You can see right away how everything's kind of structured. I have Jamie's notebook, quick notes, and example. The other thing I want to show you how to set up here right away is I'm going to go back up to that little gear which I showed you before, where it says just go down under where my login information is. You can see where it says quick notes. Just make sure, so I only have one notebook, but if I had multiple notebooks, you might want to, this is where your location for your quick notes or kind of your default notes where it connects other places. If you had multiple notebooks in it, you'd want to select where your kind of your default spot is. So if you're sending something from the web or an app, it will go to that spot, or using your widget on your iPad, which I'll show you how to do a little bit later. So you can adjust where that goes automatically just by doing that. You can also see there's also a section where it goes show recent notes and different things like that. So I'm just going to leave that on for there. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this one. One other thing I want to show you is just in edit and view. If I click on it, a lot of times I know for myself, the default font size was at 11 and I increased it to 13. You can play with that just by hitting that plus or minus there. You have a default font, and I haven't played with that, but you can see there's many to choose from if you wanted a different font. We have the authors there. I'm not sharing any of these with anybody, so I haven't changed that information on there. But that's all about for settings. Take a look at maybe some different settings. They're very easy to understand and go through. Just click that little gear in the top right-hand corner. So now let's go on to creating some, getting started with creating some notes. I just quickly made a couple more notebooks to show you. In the case, I can click through, and each one had created a new section in it. And the other thing I wanted to comment on, under each part you can make endless amounts of sections or pages. So just if I wanted under Jamie's notebook, and where you can see quick notes, maybe I want a new section, I'm just going to click at the bottom and I'll put down stuff. Maybe this stuff is for home. And again, I can put anything on the page, but I can create more sections under each one, so you can understand kind of how everything's organized on this one. The reason why we might hide our notebooks, and I showed you that example of hiding different notebooks, because maybe, let's say you're taking a course at university or a certain class, or maybe you don't need the notes anymore. If I go back and let's say I have all this information in Jamie's notebook, I'm just going to hold down with my finger on it, and you can see it goes to this. I can just click the minus there, and it goes away. It didn't delete it, but I can always go back at a later time and maybe think, oh, I want to get information back from that course I took last semester, or 2 semesters ago, or 3 semesters, and I can open it up to check on different things. But all your notebooks don't have to be shown in this all the time. So I'm just going to hit done on there. I'm not going to close any on this one here. So let's just go ahead to the page where we put our information on. So that's at the last part, and I'm just going to touch on it and click on this one. I don't have a title on it. I'm just going to type something, testing page here. So what we have here, and I'm just going to go through each of the menu items before I get to the tips and tricks and how to take some great notes. You can see if I click anywhere on the page, I can start typing, or and I'll talk about the draw tool a little later on. But in this one, if I wanted just to write someone, I can write it quickly. If I wanted to click on it, I'm going to just tap on it now. You can see I have different options from selecting it. And all this syncs with all my other OneNotes. If I'm on my computer, this information gets synced right over, and that's the important thing I want you to understand, is how everything gets saved on the cloud through OneDrive, and then you can access it if you, whether you're on your PC or your phone, you can open it up and get your information there too. So just real quickly, I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on this home menu here, because I think it's pretty self-explanatory. Going across the top, you can see where you can pick your different fonts. You can pick your normal different type of formatting on it. We have our color of our font. We have our highlighting one next to this. If I had it selected, select the font, I can go through. I'm just going to go through and select it, and I can highlight a different color on it. I have my, if I wanted to make sure I wanted bullets on it, I can select my bullets and add that. Same thing with the numbers, indenting, and so on. And I have different styles from my different headings, depending on how everything you want to set up. But this is the same as many other note-taking or word editing software that you work with. The point I want to talk about here the most are the tags at the end. You can see if something is important, you could quickly star it. If there's a question to it, you could hit the question mark next to it, and you have a number of different tags that you could, maybe it's contact information, you can add these tags. The one thing I want you to know about these tags though, they're not searchable in this. So they're on the iPad, they're just kind of more of a graphical note that you see that maybe something's important. On OneNote 2016 on the PC, you can actually, on Windows, you can search for your tags, but that's a little bit different than this one I'm using right here. So that's just kind of a quick explanation about Home. I want to get more into the Insert, Draw, and View to show you some of the features that I think are kind of more important with OneNote on the iPad. So inserting has some neat features here to kind of add to some great taking note ability, especially on the iPad with built-in camera. So I'm just going to again go through the list of the few of them. I'll go through quickly because I think they're self-explanatory, but I created a new page. You can see I called it inserting, so I'm just going to click on my page and then I'm free to start moving around on it. I can go, and I'm just going to go across the top right here and just click on my page first and hit table. So now I can insert anything I want in the table. I'll just put test here, and I can click somewhere else and put example on it, and I can quickly add different things. So you can see also if I needed to insert more to the table, if I have insert, I can insert rows above, below, left, right. I'll just give a quick example, and I can also delete in the same format on it like so. So if you need a quick table to make your notes organized, it works very easily on it. I'm just going to go back here to my insert, and I'm going to just click out of the table. Pictures, easy to put in. I like how with the iPad you're attached right away. You can take your pictures, but if you have any photo libraries here to this, I'll just grab a quick picture here. I'm not even sure what this is. Hit done. Looks like I took a picture of a mouse on my desk. And I'm just going to click on it here. You can see once I click on it, I have a few different options on it. If I grab the corner, I can resize it. The one thing I really like about the pages here is you have kind of an endless amount of space to put your information on. If I pinch out, you can see how small I can make things. If I expand my fingers apart, it makes it larger. So this makes it really great for note-taking ability. And when I get into inserting some of the files and using my pen, this is the part I really like about it. So you can see just by moving things around, you could be putting pictures in and images and taking great notes on top of those. And I'll talk about that in a bit. So going after pictures, we have our camera. Now the camera is a great option here. You can see I have a messy desk in front of me, but I'm just going to hit back here. I'm going to insert some pictures I already took before because it has Microsoft Lens built into it. So what I mean is you have the ability to take a picture of a whiteboard or a document or a picture on this, and then it will make the adjustments for it too. The nice thing with OneNote, it has OCR built into it, which is optical character recognition, which it can search for letters, and it recognizes like through PDFs and even handwriting, and you can actually search for it. And I'll talk about the search a little bit later in some of the tips on it. But if I go back, I took some pictures already here from my camera. I'm just going to go back to the photos here. I took a picture of a document, and I'm just going to put this in to show you real quickly. You can see now I can do a few different things. At the very bottom, you have a whiteboard option, a photo, and a document. Now, if I wanted this to be a document, it's just a picture of a book I took. I can put it in as a document, and notice how it kind of straightened it out and made it a little bit. It wasn't a very good picture, but if you had a document, it would help straighten things out on it. I can go through and crop and adjust it if I wanted to get it a little bit better. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. I just want to show you how it works. Now the same thing, and you can see how you can kind of straighten it out more and more and more. Now if it was a whiteboard, it kind of adjusts the colors and everything. This isn't a whiteboard example, but if I was taking a picture of a whiteboard, it just can make everything more crisp and adjust everything. And then again, you can crop it. And again, even the OCR can pick up words from there later if you're searching through it too. So it's a good option to have if you're taking lots of pictures for your notes on it. So the next thing what I want to show you how to do is the audio. So again, I'm just going to click anywhere on the page. I'm going to click on audio, and it's working right now. It's recording my voice. So maybe you're in a lecture and you wanted to record, just hit the audio. It's going to start recording. And when I stop recording, you can see I have the audio in there. If I click on it, there's a little play arrow right next to the left. I can hit play, or I can hit play there, I'll hit play right here. So you can see it recorded my voice just from picking up on the iPad. With some of the other features on OneNote 2016, you can actually annotate at different spots in this too. But this is really great for the iPad if you want to take those quick notes on it. Next, and some of the features I use more and more, I'm just going to click somewhere else on the page. And again, I like how I can, if I needed more space, I can move things around, click somewhere else, and I have more space to work with, and I can zoom up on different ones. I could create a new page, but I'll just keep everything on the same page here for this example here. And so I've clicked, I'm just clicking on the page here, making sure it's not lagging. There we go. And file. So if I have files, now this is where I talked about earlier, you want to make sure you either have something like OneDrive or Google Drive installed, depending on where you're getting your files. So I've installed those apps on my iPad. And if I'm going to go to location, you can see Drive, I have it available right there. More, you saw that I did have OneDrive. So what you do is after you install it, you actually have to turn them on too. So if I go back to done and click locations, now I have access to Drive also. So I go to Drive and I see my account there, and I can look right in and grab something from it. So let's say hypothetically, I will go over to maybe a report. These are just some example reports that just some templates from different ones. And this is from Google Drive. I can put it, you can see it's right, I'll zoom up now, and this is reports. The thing I can do with this one right away, I have access to this document, and what I can do is hit printout, and I have the whole document inside my OneNote here on a page. So I know this page is getting a little bit messy from all the things I've been inserting. Later in the tips, I'll kind of show you how to kind of organize that a little bit more. Just continuing on with the insert. The one thing just one more comment with the inserting the files. I deal with the PDFs lots, but you can go from file, insert your images. But as I said, do hook up your Google Drive or your OneDrive to connect on that one. So with our PDF printout, this is really what I like to do is taking a lot of notes is if you have a document, again, if I have a PDF document and I go to Drive, for instance, I can put something in, and it takes all the stuff from Google Drive and turns it in PDF already. So even if I had not a PowerPoint, but a Google Slides and put it in, you can see it actually inserts the whole thing in here, so I can have the notes right on top of this. I'm going to zoom out. You can see the page is getting pretty full here, how much stuff I can put. Again, this is what I really like, how I can kind of zoom around in this here. So I'm just going to click, I'm going to zoom up and pick a spot here, just off to the side. Anything you can delete too, if I click on anything. So if I click on this, you can see I have the option. I'm just going to delete this for now, this spot. I could select more and do different things. So the last few different ones, I have link, equation, and date. These are very quick. If I wanted to add a link for something, just put the address in there and the name you want to display. You could copy paste it over, or you could type it in, and then you're going to have your hyperlink there. If you wanted to add a math equation, you can just click and add the math. You can add the math equation. And the last part is the date. So if you needed to add a quick date stamp to it, go ahead and just hit the date and you have a date. So let's move on to some of the neat features with Draw next. All right, so one of my favorite tools on this is the Draw tool and connecting it with everything else, because I like to scribble when I take notes and write on top of things. So the Draw tool, I'm just going to quickly show you a couple things on it. So if you look in the top right-hand corner, and this is the same for any of the note-taking part of it, notice the two arrows. I didn't show you this earlier on, but pushing out, it's right beside the settings. So if I click on it, it opens up the whole page. So if you want a whole page to draw on, go ahead and click that. So with the draw tool, I can click anywhere on the page. I'm going to go ahead and actually I'm going to turn something off because I do have my Apple Pen connected with this right now. And in the top right hand corner where there's the hand and the pen, I'm going to draw with touch, and then I'll turn it back on to show you how you can set that up. So if I'm just using my finger in this example, you can see I'm on the selected of the pen one. I can, as I click on different ones, you can see which one I'm on. But I'm just on this one. I should be on the color red. If I wanted to pick a different color, I have some defaults, but I can just pick the wheel and kind of spin it around and pick a different color on it. So I'm just going to use my finger. There is a little bit of lag with my recording. It's very smoothly on the iPad, but I noticed there's a little bit of lag with the software that I'm using to record the screen. I can increase my size of my pen just by simply hitting the plus, and I have a thicker pen. Same thing if I hit the subtraction on it too. I can go to a different marker. I'll just go to blue. Same thing with the size of it. Very quickly adjust to it. I have this pen that I can also use. Again, very, very simple. If I use the eraser, I can just click kind of right through, and it will get rid of the objects that I have on it here. So the other thing is, so after the pens, what I want to show you is the tool right beside the hand of the pen. If I click on it, and I'm going to go to, if I want to quickly draw a triangle, it can recognize, and there is a lag on this because this is very quick on my it does it very, very quick. So there, I have a little bit of a lag happening on it, but it will recognize the shapes right away. If I go to the circle, even that on the computer screen is a little bit slow versus what's happening on the iPad. So great for taking notes if you need some shapes really quickly. Now jumping to the other side, you notice where it says lasso to select. If I click on it, I can select the different shapes and I can move them around and I can size them. So I like the size factor. So I draw something, and remember this page is, I don't have to be in this one spot. I can pinch it and I can be somewhere else, drawing somewhere else if I need these bigger. So if I, for example, if I click on this mess that I made and I want this bigger, I can move this somewhere else. You can also see if I select it, well, I'll select it again. I'm going to zoom out. So if I select it, I have different options that I can do with it if I make it smaller and move it around. So it's really good for taking notes if you're writing something. I'm going to turn on my pen right now. If at any time you want to go back to typing something on the screen, make sure you go back to text mode, and then you can operate just by typing stuff into this one. But I want to go back to the pen. I'm using a pen, so I want to turn off draw with touch, and I'm going to go to over to other stylus on this one, and you can see it will, all you have to do is pick the way that your hand writes, and I write like this. And with the pen I can start, oh, I'm on text mode, so it didn't do anything there. So I'm just going to make sure I'm on my drawing mode, and now I can just draw away with the pen. And as I said, I really like using the pen when I'm taking notes because it's instant on this, and I can quickly take the notes and they look great on it. And that's with the Apple iPen. So there's one last thing on the menu I want to go over in view, and then I want to get to those tips and tricks to help you take those great notes. So under view, you have a few options to set up how you want a certain page. You can see right now I have spelling turned on, and I'm going to leave spelling on because I make lots of spelling mistakes. You can simply, if you want to see what page width looks like versus 100% is usually what we have it kind of defaults to, but you can change it there. But a lot of times you might want a certain paper, maybe a paper color for a different page on it, and you can just easily select a different page or paper color for it. And paper style. For note taking, I really like the paper style because depending on what you're doing, whether maybe it be graphing or some other type, you could either choose, do you want a lined paper on it, or maybe you want more of a grid paper too. The other thing you can do is password protect on this. So you can password protect a certain section. You can't password protect a notebook, but you can actually password protect a certain section. And if you click on it, all all you would do is add a password to it, make sure you remember it, and then you have to verify it. And then that, so if you want to keep a certain section private, go ahead and add a password to it. So that kind of goes through kind of just your basic setup of everything to it. So let's move on to these tips that I was talking about earlier on this one too. The first tip I want to show you is about the widgets on your iPad. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to swipe down from the top of the screen here on my iPad and open up my widgets. So on my right hand side, you can actually see that OneNote is I already put that on. So what I'm going to do real quickly is take it off. I'm going to go over to edit. You can see I already have it installed, but by default, it's not going to be there. And so I just want to quickly show you how to do and how you can connect quickly if you want to take some quick get connected to your OneNote app. So to turn it back on, you just click on the edit and you can see that OneNote is down the list. I'm just going to click on it here, hit the plus, and now it becomes part of my right-hand column. I'm going to be done. So what does this do for you? Well, you can see now it has some recent notes. You can see the recent ones that I was creating. But let's say if you just want to take a quick note or take a quick photo or give a quick list you're doing in your OneNote, now you just swipe down and you can say, okay, I want to make a quick list. And it already gives you the correct format, and you can start to say, maybe I need to get some eggs, bread, and bread, and so on. So I'm going to swipe down from the top. If the app wasn't open, it would open up after. Maybe you need to take a quick photo of something. Again, I'm just going to scroll down and you can see, or else if you just want to create a simple new page on this one. So definitely a handy thing. I don't use it a lot, but I know some people that like to have the widgets open, so you can set it up to have that quick widget on it. So one of the features I was going to show at the beginning of this tutorial, but I was going to wait till I actually had some more pages and notebooks to give an example on this, is the search tool. In the top left-hand corner, make sure you don't forget about this, right next to the undo, another very important thing. But you can actually search through all your notebooks on this. So if you could search through specific notebooks, or depending on how you have them labeled. Remember I talked about before the OCR, you can actually go through and find images even from a picture, from a whiteboard, if it can recognize the text, and it can become a searchable item on it too. So don't forget about the search feature. Over time you might get lots and lots of notes and be putting them away in different places, and you want to quickly bring it up for something you need today. Use the search tool. Great to find all your stuff. The other way for some great note taking is using this split screen, which is on the iPad Pro. So if you haven't used this feature, if I'm taking notes and let's say I have my page open and I wanted a textbook that I could get from it, swipe from this side and you can open up. So I'm in my iBooks right here. You can see as I scroll down, I can access different things, but I really like it for if there's a certain book on it. So let's say if I have iMovie for iPad, I'll just use this as an example. I want to pick a page. I can change the size a little bit of this, and maybe there was something, I'm just going to zoom up a little bit. I could start taking notes on this. So I could go through and maybe I'm going to use my draw tool to take a certain notes. I could be taking notes over here as I go through my book on this side. So you could be just going through. So another feature I like if you were doing something like this, or if you find an image anywhere you like, so maybe there's a certain thing you want to bring in, image you want to bring into your notes so you could write on top of it, just simply do the capture screen. So hold down your hold button and remember the top one, and take a picture. Oh, I hit the wrong thing there. Just let me open it up here as I'm reaching across my mic and everything here. Let me just do this again. And I took a picture by clicking the two there. So the image, what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to open up my OneNote here. I'm going to go back to this. I'm just going to close this up so you can see better. I want to insert the image. So I'm going to click on my page. I need to go to text mode here. I'm just going to click on my page. Actually, I'm going to go back to my insert first. I'm going to insert a picture that I just took, and it should be the last one. Hit done. and this is the image, but I want to crop it because let's say I only want the image. So I'm going to crop. I just want to take this picture right around this one, and I'll put it here, and I'll hit the check mark. It was a little crooked how I did that, but that's fine for my example. Now, what I like is I can go over to my draw tool. So maybe there were some points on this, and I'll just go to a pen, and I can actually start, well, maybe I make a note right onto it. I point to it and write a little note to myself. So I've got the image from my textbook right on it. And remember, you can scroll out to it. So it's a little feature I like to do. If you have your information in textbook and iBooks on the side, quickly take the snapshots from it to write on top of it, but quickly take notes from it at the same time. One of my favorite ways to take note, as I mentioned before, is with the PDF printout option. And with whether it be Microsoft or Google, I'm going to insert a Google Slides in this case, but it could be a PowerPoint as long as this is a PDF option. So I'm going to click on it, and I'm going to go to my locations. Remember, you need to have either Drive or OneDrive, depending on where you're saving your stuff. I'm going to go to my account. I'm just going to pick a PowerPoint. So let's say, for instance, a teacher shares, or maybe you're at a meeting and they share a document with you. But you need to have this as a PDF to insert it. But as a Google Doc, it allows me, actually, it turns it right into a PDF right away. So as I insert this, it will open up, as I showed you it earlier on, as a document right in it here. What I really like about this is if I go over to the draw tool now, as I'm going through, maybe someone's giving some really good notes about something extra on this, I can go to my pen tool and start writing things down beside this. So maybe if I just wanted to do a quick star, and remember, you can change the size of this. So if all of a sudden I want this right here, this option right here, I'm going to go to the lasso tool, and I'm going to select it. I can move this around, and I don't have to be thinking that I'm zoomed up on a certain page. Maybe I move my notes over. Maybe I draw a big picture that helps me remember things. Maybe I need, I'll just zoom up so I can grab this here. Maybe I need this really large. I can bring it all around. So I really like taking that option of the PDFs in it. So whether you have a Word document, or maybe you have Google Docs or whatever it is, turn it into a PDF and bring it in. The other thing you can do is, I'm just going to create a new page for this one, is if you insert, and I'm going to go back to the PDF, I have an example here. So when you go to your, whether it be again PowerPoint or slides, you can give notes on the side of it, and then you can turn that into PDF. So I already have one selected here. I'm going to go to my Drive here, and I'm going to you can see it's a PDF here, and it takes the Google Slides or PowerPoint, and I can put the notes right next to it. So now maybe if you want everything kept neater, you can zoom up on a certain slide. You go to your draw tool, and you can start up, make sure I pick a pen, and you can start taking notes on the side of it. And remember, I can zoom out, I can add more to it. You have an endless amount of room. So this is some of my favorite ways to take some notes on Microsoft OneNote on the iPad. So to delete your notebooks, you actually have to go to OneDrive to do it. So I've showed you before, if I hold my finger on it or go up to the edit, I can close a notebook. But this does not delete the notebooks. If you want to delete your notebook out of it, you actually have to go to OneDrive, because that's where everything's synced through. So you could do this on your computer, but I'm going to use it. Go to my OneDrive app here that I've installed on it. I'm going to go just back. The default, you can see if you're looking for your OneNote files, go into Documents. And then you can see the different files that we created here today in this example. So example one, if I just hold, don't tap it or it's just going to open in OneNote. I'm going to be holding on top of it, pressing down until the check mark comes up. And then if I look up at the top, you can see there's a garbage can up there. And do I want to delete this item? Yes, I want to delete this item, and then it's gone. So if you actually want to completely get rid of your notebooks, that's how you do it. So if I go back to OneNote, that example one is going to be gone. I'm going to hit done here. You can see if I go to more notebooks, I still have a path that looks like under recents, but if I try to open it, it can't open it because it's deleted. So that's how you go about deleting your notebooks. Go over to OneDrive to do it that way. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial on the iPad and the tips and tricks I added at the end. If you have, please hit that like button, share with a few people. Let me know of any other tips and tricks. Write them in the comments down below. Remember, I do weekly tech tips, and if you like what you see, please subscribe to my channel. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.